I'm so going to regret this. Yeah, you're right, you probably are. Mumbling an annoyance, I started chasing after the girls. Hikage, go around to the left. Right. Left? Why do you always undermine me? Oh, Cammy, I wasn't saying right. I was, you know, never mind. Just run after them. What on earth is happening? While I was chasing after the girls, I noticed the trees seemingly were getting a little bit denser, making it more difficult to navigate along the path. Yes, that's what trees normally do. Hang on. Making it slightly more difficult to navigate around the path. Are you sure? That doesn't look too difficult. Dave, I don't think I can run much more. I'm starting to get a little near. What's near? Are you having a stroke? Just a little bit longer, Dave. We're almost... Mayako, not a headache, not now. Sorry, Dave. Scissor attack? That can be taken in a horrifically wrong way. I arrived just in time to find a scene straight from an action movie. The fox girl with blonde hair had collapsed, seemingly being held up in her companion's laps. The two armed girls were approaching them almost unmistakably, with killing instincts running amok. Any martial artist could feel that. Those two girls were going to be in for a beating if I didn't stop them. They stole something. Like, it's not like they're a completely innocent party and they're about to be battered because YOLO. We've got you now, thieves. I'm going to personally drag your sorry butts back to town and have you both stocked. Maybe I'll even see how you feel running around without any undies on. This is ridiculous. Like, sure, you know, we've gone into the past, but really? This isn't the kind of thing which happened. Yeah, although I must admit, having a breeze down there does feel kind of nice, keeps me feeling fresh and a little bit tingly. That is horrible. That is not something you also openly admit. Hey, goodness! You have no shame, do you? This isn't about your nethers, this is about... I'm not reading that word, it's a horrible word. Stolen! And these two criminals being brought to justice. Yeah, that's what I meant. Oh, Dave, it hurts, my head hurts. Shh, it's going to be okay, Chibiko. I'm not going to remember any of these people's names. Hey, you guards, if you're so desperate to have your underwear back, then here, catch. Stop right there. However, before I was able to interrupt the conversation, the silver-haired fox girl tossed a pair of objects into the air. It seemed whatever they were, the two samurai girls were flustered by the tossed projectile. What? It seemed whatever they were, the two samurai girls were flustered. It seemed whatever they were, okay. Is there a comma missing in there? It doesn't seem too fluent. The two samurai girls were flustered by the tossed projectile, a projectile whose trajectory was heading straight to my face. Of course it was. What a crazy event. Oh, okay, so we're straight back to this running scene, are we? I'm blinded. Who the hell tosses a... Peeling off the projectiles from my face, I raised them lightly into the air like a professor examining an important sample, while at the same time the fox girls made their escape. Those things. Oh boy, I just knew this wasn't going to end up well. Hey, you there, are you in cahoots with these crafty kitsune? What the fuck is... they'll explain what a kitsune is at some point. Give those back immediately. Those are evidence of a crime and not for anyone else to touch. Drop them right now. I'm innocent until proven guilty, one of the golden rules of the court. Now stop pointing those weapons at me so I can hand over your Dave without being turned into a kebab. What is it with these things? It's like an Englishman, as soon as someone's foreign, they still keep using all these complex words and sayings they're never going to get. It's like the whole, oh, I'm gonna have a butcher's. Fucking no one's foreign's gonna know what that means. Unless they've watched a Cockney film. And this is here what I've done. Oh, it's one of the golden rules of the court. But that turning me into a kebab. Alright, at this point he doesn't know that he's in the past. What? No! Shut up! Just drop the evidence and walk away! I'm Tsushikino Mayo, chief of the village guards, and I'm ordering you to drop whatever you're holding right now. I don't know of any village guards, and I seriously doubt a cop will go around dressed like that and wielding a katana. More importantly, the ground here is muddy and dirty. You're sure I should drop the evidence? I mean, I could, but... Hiya! Yeah, there are two girls One with a katana. It's not a katana, but I don't remember what it's called. And one with a spear. It's not a spear, but that's a Japanese word. It's a spear. Come on, it's a long thing with a pointy thing on the end. So, I'd have put it down, if I'm going to be completely honest. Before I could react, the pink-haired woman lunged towards me, the spike of her spear, we're calling it a spear, aiming for my gut. My reflexes caught just in time, and I was able to palm away the spear as it sailed through the air. Yeah, that's how I normally deflect, like, metal objects with a pointy end being hurled towards me. I slightly dodge out of the way and palm them away. I'm like, no, not today. I struck upwards on the wooden shaft of the weapon, sending it up into the air and unbalancing the woman. Now, Rumi, I did not order you to attack. Fine, I'll give them back. Jeez. Just my luck to find the girls with weapons to be the... I'm not saying that fucking word. That was one of the words which really annoys me about this kind of stuff. Sundara. That means that all you're writing is really stereotypical. You're writing to a stereotype. I'll be fine now. Deciding to extend the hand that held the girls, their stuff, I tried to hand them over. Something that I would soon end up regretting. Ha, thinking I'd fall for something so simple. Fool, you may have fooled me once, but not twice. The woman swung her weapon wide, arcing the thick wooden pole into my side before I could dodge. Wooden pole. What wooden pole? That... It's an odd colour for wood. Before I could dodge. She then lunged forward and grabbed me tightly, pulling my arms around my back, leaving me with sore ribs in a prone position. I could have fought back, but figured it would only lead to more fighting and possibly being stabbed, which I could do without, so I remained passive. The sword-wielding girl stepped forwards and grabbing the stuff from my hand triumphantly. Your methods might be crude, but they get results. Hikage, bind his wrists, we'll bring him in for questioning, and he'll probably know where those pesky thieves have been hiding. Right. They look so apathetic. They've just taken me in, I put my hands behind my back, and then it's like, whatever. So apathetic. And people wonder why criminals would resist at all costs. I mumbled weakly while I watched the girl with the spear tie my wrist together with some rope she had concealed somewhere. This is someone's fantasy somewhere. I hope it was meant for actual criminals, and soon felt myself dragged by the duo toward the direction of the city. Surely, once we arrive at the city, you two will stop this role-playing of yours and let me go home, right? As much as I like to fool around, I got more important things to do. The city? Ha! We're not taking you all that way. You'll spend the day in the village, the cells. Thief? Who are you calling a thief? I'm a victim! First they toss stuff in my face, then I had to deal with physical abuse, and now even slander? Besides, there's no village around these parts, it's the city! You know, Sakino Toshi? Silence, Hikage. If he speaks again before we get to the village, you have my permission to knock him unconscious. Oh, shit. Basically, that means stop talking! Stop talking! Jesus. Not saying that word. I'm just going to say evil tyrant. Heh, that's funny. And that's how I was on my way to the jail cell, cuffed and dragged by two girls I started to suspect were pretty much crazy in the head. However, I've read the blurb for this game, I still know it's not the case. When we left the forest behind us, the first thought that filled my mind was panic. The city I'd lived in my whole life, it was gone! You got to be kidding me. If I wasn't in Sakino Toshi, then where the hell did my hometown disappear to? Hey, no talking! I wasn't talking, I was thinking. Come on, I don't want to bop you that much. Kinda. Maybe a punch or two. I just want to know how the heck you blocked my strike so easily. What do you mean you want to... No. You were looking, weren't you? You didn't close your eyes as you went in for a blind stab. You were looking as... I... blocked it... whatever. Your attack had a lot of power behind it, but it was a little bit predictable, just the right movement, enough pressure behind the counter, and that was the result you saw. But anyway, let me play along for a bit. Where in the world are we? This clearly isn't my hometown. I mean, the buildings look more like they could be in some sort of classic samurai movie. Huh? What the heck is a movie? This is Harumaru. It's been here for years. Okay, look. What's your name? Takaharu? Something like that. Takaharu. Hikage, I thought I told you to silence him if he spoke. Hey, we haven't conversation. Actually, you told me that I could do it. You didn't tell me that I had to. Must be tough being her subordinate. Okay, so we're called Takahiro. Got that much. You fell unconscious. You woke up, and there was weird shit going on. You just got a blessing. You've been walking, I imagine, for quite some time now. And that kind of weird shit happens. You must have realized at some point there's something a bit more than just a bunch of people cosplaying. This is a fucking elaborate joke. Be silent or I will silence you for good. This time it seemed not to be an idle threat, for the girl unsheathed her katana. Katana? Stick with katana. And rested the tip of the blade against my throat. I already started to regret having played the hero earlier. Hopefully there would be someone with more common sense in the village. Several minutes later, am I in a cell? Am I going to be drawn in a cell? Oh, shit. Again, should be like a decent sort of saying that you're not in the modern times. There's no metal, despite that girl having a fucking spear with a spear handle. But you're covered in wood. Look, everywhere here is wood. You're covered in wood. That's another porn game altogether. I soon found myself confined within a small room. The stern-looking tyrant glaring down at me, while the other girl, seemingly called Narumi, had at least softened up a little. From what I had gathered during the conversation, they had called the village elder to help oversee my questioning. What purposes these thefts have? Are you just some perverted guy who gets off? Again, I'm not reading that. Oh, to cut them off. Well, I'm not even going to joke. Like, I am stood here in a cell with two people seemingly in the same cell, trying to kill me. I already told you I was in the wrong place at the wrong time, not to mention anything worn by you would likely smell burnt or taste sour. Why say that? You're in a cell, surrounded by people who have weapons. I couldn't see too well from the cell where they had put me, but I was almost certain I could hear Narumi laughing nearby. Fucking hell. Alright, we got the bloke from, what's it, Master Miyagi? I don't remember the bloke from Karate Kid. I mean, look at him. Not a Heihachi, a very old one though. Dave, please cool down. You brought him. Cool down. Is that what it's supposed to say? You brought him in to learn the reason behind his presence in the forest, right? That is correct, Dave. I believe he was working with the Kitsune to steal, well, you know, stuff and other things. Objection! Huh? What are you objecting to, sir? Sir. Yes, I'm sure they called each other that. It's not exactly historically accurate, let's be honest. The evidence surrounding the defendant's accusation is fabricated. Dave, could you please answer the question for the judge? Was the defendant, aka myself, anywhere near Kitsune while you two were chasing them? Hold it! Just who are you calling judge here? Stop shouting or I'll strike you down. Fuck's sake. We're not in America now. And no, you can't sue after. Hey Dave, maybe the whole angry accusation thing isn't working. This guy is clearly not a bandit nor a threat. We could just ask him why he was up there in the woods. If he has a valid reason, then sure. If not, then he's a stuff thief. And we'll use him as a punching bag out in the yard. Finally, and here I thought this was about to become a turnabout case. I sighed deeply, partly amused at how despite this serious situation, I was able to remain calm by acting like several characters I've seen in movies or games I played before. Yes, and they get smacked, and then they have to kill a bunch of people. You never played one of these games, Jesus. As long as I wouldn't become an ace prisoner, things would hopefully end up well. A wise idea, Dave. How about you start by giving us your name? Gushiken Takahiro. So, why were you inside the forest while our village guards were chasing a pair of thieves? I'm not entirely sure myself. One moment I was praying at a shrine hidden inside the forest, and the next moment I know some weird girl starts talking to me. A girl? Yes, a girl with horns and scaled tail. They're either going to believe that, or they're just going to smack you around the face with the spear and be like, shut up! I wouldn't be surprised they just told me to shut up, to be fair, at this point. I know it sounds odd, but I could have sworn I saw her before I fainted, then I woke up inside the forest. Dave, do you two recall the stories behind the shrine near our village? Forgive me, Dave, I do not recall. I know you said it was a place of high spiritual energy, a sacred place, but I can't remember anything. Sorry, Dave. That shrine belongs to Tsuri, a powerful spirit that has watched over our village for as long as we can remember. There's a reason why, unlike the Kitsune, we tend to avoid going deep into the forest. Is this like the White Walker situation in Game of Thrones? You know, don't go beyond the wall because, you know, shit happens there. Stupid people rely down there, but this is just going to turn out really weirdly, isn't it? Alright, come on, Tack Hero. No more wisecracks, no more being a twat, and we might be out here and out for dinner.